You guys are all muted, so I'm pretty sure you guys can see my screen.
If you guys can see the screen, give a thumbs up.
And I see that you guys are chatting. Perfect. So today what we wanted to go through is one of the couple things that I've been asked about is on regards to credit. Do we have a credit repair specialist that we can refer you guys to? How to use the what if simulator? You know, things like that. So the biggest thing we want to do today is kind of just show you guys how to use your tools in-house. And we did bring a credit repair specialist today so that you guys can get his information and I can go ahead and share it with you guys. I'm gonna what's your guys' website? I'm gonna put up what's your website?
Elite Credit Group. That's cool.
Well, he's destroying our office now, so I don't know if I'm gonna
My
get
Elite.
it somewhere.
My Elite Credit Group.
So
Just put mine.
basically, what we want is for our credit repair specialist to kind of just go ahead and run through with you guys information on how to basically, wait, is this it? Yeah.
My Elite, correct.
Yes, okay. So this is his website, myelitecreditgroup.com, and we have Jose and his team that are here, and they're going to be running through with you guys on a credit report what you guys should look out for, especially again when we run a credit and we have a client who does not have the greatest of credits. We want to be able to utilize our tools and see if we can fix their credit, how quickly we can fix it and get them into a home, right? Because we do know there's a lot of lenders out there that are going to see the ugly FICOs and immediately say, nope, we don't want to do that, right? So when you guys run the credit and you guys will go in and you're going to see this here, or the credit report is going to pop up. What you guys can do is this is the actual credit report, right? But before you click into the credit report, you're going to see here where it says credit expert, whether it's your wayfinder or your what if simulator. Just keep in mind your wayfinder is more of what it's giving you what to do with the credit versus what you can do to play with the credit. I personally like the what if simulator simply because I can mess around with it, and based on the experience that my credit repair specialists have, you know, the pointers that they have given me, I mess around with it to try and see how I can fix my client's credit. So we're going to go ahead and click the what if simulator, well, or not. 1 second, guys. All right. So we're going to go ahead and click the what if simulator here, and it's going to open up to this page here. So keep in mind, guys, it is going to tell you how many days remaining you have to be able to use your what if simulator. Your what if simulator or your wayfinder are only good for 30 days. So if you run a credit and it's past 30 days, you won't be able to use this tool. So my recommendation is if you see your borrower's FICO this low, please make sure you guys are utilizing that tool, contacting your credit repair specialist and helping your client get the FICO that he needs, right? So in this case, I know that my client's FICO score, mid FICO is 551, right? Because we have high of 582, low of 525, and a mid of 551. So I'm going to click all three of them. And what it's going to do, once I click place order, keep in mind, this is already within the cost of the credit report. So you guys, even if it says place order, you guys are not getting charged for it. So hit place order, and it's going to pop up. Did it? All right, see, hold on. There's my pop-ups. Give me 1 second, guys, because it blocked my pop-ups and I'm trying to look at where my blocked pop-ups are. Those will be so fast. Let's try the wayfinder real quick. No, it's hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that this one has pop-ups. All right, so it should let me to pop it up. Now there you go. So again, you guys do have to allow pop-ups. Make sure you guys do that because it is going to pop up all three of your credit bureaus on here. Now, how do I close this? All right, here we go. So it is going to pop up all three of your credit bureaus on here, and you're going to be able to see this is Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So of course, when you guys are taking a look at it, you want to see what they have on each and every one. Now, this specific one does not have a lot of stuff, but I wanted to just kind of show you guys when you have any type of collections like this, certain collections can be paid and removed off automatically once they've paid them, some cannot. So this is again why we have our credit repair specialist here with you guys to tell you guys what you can do. So what you guys are able to do here is, let's say we get this one paid off and removed. Now it's automatically telling you, boom, it just jumped up, you know, what, 29 points? Here we have another one. I mean, it's telling you it's not scoreable. It could be because, you know, it's not helping. So if I remove this, it's going to go back to the 580 FICO score, right? But we can start messing with this. Here, it does have a loan. Let's say maybe I need to add an account. What if I need to go ahead and get them a credit line? If they get a credit card, let's say it's $5,000 and they've only used 500 bucks, right? I can go ahead and simulate that. Now it's going to tell me that I can change the time frame, right? This is where you change the time frame. Right now, this is in 1 month time frame. So if you guys are taking a look at this, if they get a credit line for a specific amount and the utilization is low, as you can tell, you have now just bumped up their FICO score significantly. Let's say we wait 3 months. Doesn't really make a big change, right? Sometimes 6 months. Well, not much of a change. So then we know that if we do an immediate change, which is actually it's letting you know in about a month, you're going to get 631, right? So maybe not paying this off, not removing it, you don't necessarily always have to remove certain collections from your credit report because it's not always going to help. So using this tool, you can show your client firsthand what they can do to fix their FICO score, right? So this is a great tool for you guys to use. Again, let's say we do it over here. This one is in collections. 612. Again, and just keep in mind, guys, you do have to do it for every single account. Now, this County of LA, guys, most likely it's child support. So just so you guys know, this particular client might have child support. That's probably why it's also bad FICO. But again, we're going to simulate a credit card. It's going to change the time frame for you, 650. So this is where you guys want to be able to start utilizing these, these tools for your client to show them how quickly you guys can get their FICO score up. I just did one for a client not too long ago, and her FICO went from 525 to 631 just with her paying off her collections. Because, you know, it was just going to be a little bit cheaper for her in that sense. But again, you guys can start messing with these type of things and showing your clients the ability for them to be able to fix their FICOs, and it's not going to be as costly. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let Jose, and are you going to talk?
For sure, yes.
So I'm going to let our credit repair guys come in and kind of, I don't know if you guys want to use this, you guys can. I know you guys know what to do because I'm not a credit repair specialist, which is like what I always tell my clients. I am not a credit repair specialist. This is only a simulator. This doesn't mean this is exactly what's going to happen, but it will allow for them to see, where their credit score can be if they take certain actions, right? And of course, getting a $5,000 credit cards with bad credit is most likely not going to happen, but we have our credit repair specialists here who are going to go ahead and walk us through what else we can do to help our clients get a higher FICO score.
Perfect.
So I'm going to introduce this one.
Just the chat. So that in case anyone has any
If
questions.
you guys have any questions, please log on here to the chat or unmute. We do have some people present and some people online. So you guys are welcome to please ask questions, ask away, because remember, we don't want to turn away our 51 FICO borrower. We can just turn it, right now, what do? We turned it into this one I didn't put a credit card, but let's say about 650 FICO score, within a month. This is letting us know in a time frame of a month. And again, we never know. Jose and his team over here might be able to give us a bigger FICO score than we expect. So I'm gonna go ahead, take it away.
Thank you so much.
Here, and you can mess.
All right, sounds good. Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning, happy Valentine's Day. You guys seem a little tired, so I'm gonna do a quick exercise. I want everyone to stand up.
Oh.
I want everyone to introduce yourselves to two people. One person who you think has better credit and one person who you think has worse credit, but don't tell them which is which. All right, guys, go ahead and have a seat real quick. All right, so yet again, my name is Jose Lopez. I'm an account executive with Elite Credit Group. We specialize in helping you guys with challenged credit. I don't like calling it bad credit because no one likes to hear that they have bad credit. Now, show of hands, who here has a client that you've pre-qualified before that has bad credit?
We all do, raise your hand.
Only two people are doing loans? So our goal is to help you retain more business. Now, with that being said, it is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. We're gonna talk about love stories, sad stories, happy stories, and even breakup stories. Well, most important, we're gonna start off with breakup stories. We're gonna be breaking up with bad credit. So, for those who have clients with bad credit, we're definitely here to help you guys out. But I'm gonna tell you guys, unfortunately, a sad story right now. I had a client, actually a referral partner, he was a realtor who pre-qualified a client with a lender. The client had bad credit. Can you guess what he did? You guys all answered correctly, nothing. He did nothing. He waited 5 months down the line and he contacted me saying he was scrolling on Instagram and saw that exact same client holding a sign that said sold, and he was not the agent or representative. When you qualify a client and they have bad credit and you completely leave them alone and you drop the ball on them, what do you think they're gonna do? Especially if they're ready, willing, and able. They're gonna run off to someone who can help them. That was a very sad story that I heard from him, and I definitely can feel the pain when you're out there working your off to deal and get those clients in that want to buy or sell a home, but they're not eligible due to credit. Now, I'm pretty sure I have a good select of lenders in the office, right? Right now? Show of hands, who's here as a lender? All right, so it's a pretty good proportion. I'm assuming everyone in the chat room as well is also either a lender or they're just amazing people who love credit and financing to begin with. When you're talking to a client and you're the stepping stone between them and getting into a home, you are the last resort to give them that opportunity. And by that, I mean, you guys are the only steps that it takes from them from becoming a homeowner to them staying in their rental. Or they're just gonna move on to the next person. Now, show of hands, who here knows how many transactions your average realtor loses every single year due to clients with bad credit?
A lot.
On average, 6 transactions a year. Now, your average commission price for realtors in the area is about $8,000, give or take. So you can do the numbers on that, how much money they're losing annually due to clients with bad credit. That's equivalent to a law enforcement officer's salary for the year. That's pretty high. So we specialize in helping you guys with your clients with what's called challenge credit, because I don't like calling it bad credit. No one has bad credit. You know, you have challenge credit. We understand life happens. Hey, maybe you missed a payment somewhere. Hey, maybe you decided to run up your credit card instead of using your debit card for gifts and so on and so forth. You just didn't pay the balance down. Life happens. Now, this is a beautiful tool, by the way, right here, the what if simulator, because it goes in depth on what can be helped with immediately. But sometimes it's not as immediate as getting the deletion letter from those creditors, especially for those accounts like Curaçao, which what I call the Latino devil, because the Hispanic Best Buy, they just over-absorb the interest rates on all the clients. When it comes to clients with challenged credit and they're in collections, who here knows what statute of limitations is in California? 4 years. Boom. You check your FICO right now, you probably went up 10 points. 4 years. So what that means is within the first 4 years of the last date of activity, they can technically take you to court, small claims, sue you, and continue to pursue you every single day if they wanted to. After 4 years, it is a lot easier to actually delete the account altogether without even paying. Let's say, let me move this chat out the way. Let's see, how much was this collection for? $396. So instead of paying them 396 and dealing with the hassle of it, it's a lot easier to get it deleted altogether. And forward that off to the bureaus and just completely remove it as if it never existed. Now, this is great because it tells you, hey, what about opening a credit line? But someone who has a 551, how high do you think they're going to get a credit card that has a $5,000 balance just applying on their own?
$300.
Yeah, 300. It's going to be a secured credit card where, you know, you got to put your own money as collateral. So what we do is we not only help out with late payments, charge-offs, and collections, we also help with what's called adding a trade line. Adding a trade line would be immediately adding this account to them, but instead of it having a 0 months of activity because it's brand new, we'd be adding a seasoned trade line. Now, for a quick 5-point boost on your FICO, can anyone tell me what 3 major bureaus there are for your credit?
Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion.
Check your Credit Karma right now. Let's go. Okay. So when you guys are dealing with clients with brand new credit, let's say you get that borrower that comes in and they have no established credit whatsoever. What do you guys normally tell them? I'd love to hear what the lenders actually tell the clients to do.
What was the question again, sir?
If you come across a client that you pre-qualified and it's the mom and son has no credit whatsoever, what do you tell the clients to do? On average.
If the mom has a good credit, try them on a good credit card, especially with a low balance and with a lowest period of time.
Man, you should be teaching this class. That's exactly right. So for those clients who don't have someone who has a credit card, for those clients who don't have someone who they can trust, because it's a give and take. You know, we have that ability to add them to seasoned trade lines. And your average age of history on your credit report matters more than your actual overall balance. Your age of history is about 35% of calculating what goes on for your FICO. Your balance is about 30%. Then your payment history and the types of accounts. There's multiple ways that your FICO is calculated. So we definitely take that in consideration. Do anyone have any questions regarding that so far? Any questions regarding credit so I can make sure no one gets lost in them?
You said age of history is how long?
It's about 35% of calculating your FICO.
And then
It's a big chunk because most people, if you get a brand new credit card every 6 months, you're going to notice your FICO is not going to be that high because your average age of history. And that's why when clients contact us and they tell us, hey, I'm thinking about closing out my account. What do you think? It's not something as simple as a yes or no, because there's a lot of variables that goes into it. If it's your oldest account, that may actually negatively impact your FICO. If it's a new account and all the rest of your accounts have a low to no balance at all, it shouldn't impact your credit as much as you think. But if it's your oldest account, you know, let's say it's, you know, a Best Buy account from 12 years back, that average age of history is now going to get smaller if all your other accounts are only 2 or 3 years old. Does that make sense? Perfect. Now, for those clients in this day and age, we know lenders care about 3 things: credit, income, and assets. You can get away with little to no assets. You have your down payment assistance programs, your FHA. For those who served, you have your VA loans that are getting close to 100% financing at this point. You can get away with no income documentation. With COVID, everyone becoming self-employed, there's alternate loans. There's your non-QM products, your 12-month bank statement, your 24-month bank statement, your 1-year 1099, and so on and so forth. But how many products can you think of for a first-time buyer is with zero credit? There's probably going to be very selective few, and if they are, the rates are going to be higher than Snoop Dogg. Our goal is to make sure that you guys never turn down business, you guys never turn down clients, especially the lenders in the room and the realtors in the room. You already know you are only good at your last at bat. If you can't slam that client in on escrow for that realtor referral partner of yours, they're going to walk away from you physically if they haven't already mentally. And they're already thinking about the next lender, or they're already thinking about the next realtor. The last thing you ever want to do is come across a client with challenged credit and tell them, hey, I can't help you until you fix your credit.
Because it will go with someone else.
They absolutely will. They absolutely will. Just like my friend, which I won't say what office he's with, Remax guy. So I'm here to help you guys out. Our company, we have been in the industry for 14 years. I myself have been with the company for 2. So we've seen the ups and downs. There's not a credit score that you can't imagine that we haven't seen or helped. And for those who have those specific clients, we actually have your commercial and business credit as well. So for those who have credit under their EIN, the LLC or S corps as well, that's a new division we have opened up. So especially instead of doing a 12-month personal, they're doing a 12-month business, and they're also using their business credit to buy. We are here to help you guys out with that as well.
What are some of the accounts that we can delete?
That's a great question. So some of the accounts that we can't delete, let's say this one, paid as agreed. 99% of the time, when we see something that says the county, we probably can't touch it. And by that, I mean child support, property taxes, wage garnishments, anything that Uncle Sam has his finger in. And the reason why we can't delete it is not that we can't. They're just going to re-report it again in 30 days when it re-reflects. So we can't guarantee our work on something like that, because then it'd be lying to our clients, and it'd be more importantly lying to you guys who are definitely out there trying to help them. There's certain times where if we can't handle or we can't delete something, we are open on communication, because communication is key, whether it's good or bad. No one here has ever had a 100% success ratio on every single one of their files. Who here has had a canceled escrow? Oh, you guys are all top producers. No canceled escrows. Everyone's had a canceled escrow. Everyone's had a canceled loan. Everyone had a file that they threw into underwriting as lenders and it got rejected or denied. We have about a 96% success ratio on our clients right now on our traditional credit repair. And our turn times for credit repair varies. And I'll explain that right now. Let's say, for instance, you're already in escrow. You have a client that, hey, life happens. They missed a payment on their credit card and they got a 30-day late. They need to get that removed or they're losing their escrow. We can get you guys deletion letters within 48 to 72 hours, and you guys can run what's called a rapid rescore. Have you coached them on rapid rescore yet?
No, but we can talk a little bit about it.
Okay, so running a rapid rescore, it does cost obviously you as the lender money. But it allows you guys to speed up the process when it comes to the deletion letters to get items removed from your client's credit. Now, keep in mind, rapid rescores, we have about an 80% success ratio on the first try. I will never say we're 100% because I care more about being honest and truthful to you guys so we can build the business for you guys. But it happens. We had a client actually at a Remax who unfortunately paid off his B of A credit card and forgot that the interest was going to hit the next day for $6. Completely forgot about it for 5 months. Just never thought to look at it or anything. He decided to go into escrow. They hit him with a rolling late for 35 consecutive months. Can you imagine how upset the wife was? Thankfully, we were able to save him his escrow. We got the deletion letters within 48 hours. The lender ran what's called a rapid rescore, and it got completely removed in 7 days. So scenarios like that, where unfortunately life does happen, and we get it, and we can help you guys save your escrows. Yes, sir.
I have a question in regards to what you just said. The deletion letter will come from you guys for the buyers to sign? Or is that deletion letter, the 24 to 72 hours that you're mentioning? Does that come, when does that start?
So once let's say for instance, today you come, I'm sorry, your name?
Manuel.
Manuel, let's say you come to me today and you say, hey, I have a client, here's the credit report, we need deletion letters for this client today. After payment, after everything's all set up and the application's already taken as well, within 48 to 72 hours, we should be able to get you the deletion letters. No,
From the credit agency or collection agency?
Rolando.
Yes, we're able to get the letters from the companies directly.
Correct. So directly,
Within
so-
72 hours.
correct,
Yeah, so let's just say how
like what I said.
Ael mentioned this charter. Let's just say if you try to settle the debt or call them and they're like, well, 9 out of 10 times, they won't settle. Well, 100% of the time, they will never accept the settlement and issue you a deletion letter. Usually you pay in full. And 9 out of 10 times, it's very hard for the consumer to get a deletion letter because it benefits them to have it on your credit report because they keep credit low. So paying it off, like I Ed put here, delete it. But if you were not able to get a deletion letter, you would have to put paid. So what happens if it's an account that hasn't been reported in, let's say, 2 years, it's just sitting on the credit report. The moment you pay it, they have to update it as paid. So the last date of activity could have been 2 years ago, so it's not hurting as much. But once they report it paid now, if it's a negative account that reported active, so it'll drop the score instead of increasing. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's all about weight. How much positive credit do you have versus negative? If you have very little positive, then it's gonna, the balance is off, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So where we come in is we're able to get you the deletion letter, so you say, okay, paying them off will give me this much. I can't get them, let me go ahead and call Jose and get the letters from there. And I'll pay them off with the company. Or we can pay them off with the client, but we're able to get you deletion letter 99% of the time.
And because in my previous experience trying to do this, I really haven't had any success in getting deletion letters. These
Yeah, you
companies
won't,
Have absolutely zero.
Yeah.
Motivation on getting it.
unless it's a collection for under 250, they'll issue your deletion letter.
Really?
Fine, yeah, but anything above 250, especially 500, they won't, because you can pay for it and they give you a deletion letter, and you can call your bank and say, I never authorized that charge, because it's a collection company.
Yes.
There's a lot of fraud with collection companies and predatory lending, so your bank will, you do a chargeback, they'll give you your money back, so they lose out. So it's easier for them
Well,
to
that's one
just
of the
leave it on the credit
That's one of
report.
the reasons why they usually accept like cashier's checks or something like that.
Most of the time, they want
money.
your routing on account number, because it's very hard to do a chargeback with, you can, but it's very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why they don't like I set an account for a client, 30,000. We set it for 21, and he split it into two cards, but they charged him 5%. The 21,000 times 5% extra $1,000 that he had to pay in fees. But if he uses his account number, and it would have been zero, but he didn't have the money, he had to use credit cards to pay that off. Which I don't recommend, but it's a different story. Yeah, you kind of putting out, but yeah, so this is a very great tool for you guys to use, because it pretty much takes us out of business, right? Which I'm okay, but
It doesn't.
it's not always gonna be this simple.
Like,
You know what I mean? That's where we come in.
I'll bring up a scenario. I have the client that I literally helped with the what if simulator. Again, my biggest thing that I always tell clients is this: I am not a credit repair specialist. I am giving you a tool that I have that is free of charge, but I cannot guarantee the results. So therefore, she had 3 collections, about $1,600, but one of them they refused to remove.
Right.
Like completely, utterly refused to remove. So yes, paying off the other 2, she was able to get them deleted, but the third one, she's having a challenge. So of course, her FICO score has not increased much, which is why, again, I'm gonna refer them to my credit repair specialist to be able to get a deletion letter to remove it from her credit report. So again, using the tool is gonna help you be able to guide your clients and show them there is hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but we're not credit repair specialists unless you are. But so, which is why we wanted to bring our credit repair specialists out here so that you guys can see what you can do and what do they have for you guys to be able to get, these challenged borrowers, convert them into clients.
Correct.
Yeah, let me just chime in. Who here remembers their first credit card? Sorry. the first credit card. Who here remembers the first credit card?
I remember both.
Yeah, that was 17. I'm sorry, I was 17. I got my first paycheck. I was 17 when I got my first paycheck, guys. Focus. I went to the bank, Wells Fargo, and back then they gave me a temporary credit card, limit of 700. And I was like, okay, cool, my first credit card. My mom was with me, so we maxed it out the same day. I took it to, I bought her everything, right? And then started getting credit, whatever, and then it was my time to go buy a car. And I have back credit. My dad was with me, and I bought this ugly car. It was an ugly car. It was ugly, but it's what I qualified for. I was like, okay, well, I'll take it. And then I didn't know that if I missed 3 payments, they'll pick it up. So I was ready to go to work, and I'm like, oh crap, my car is gone. I'm going in the house, and I'm all, Dad, it's not my car. And I was like, no, they, told you can't pick it up. Why did you, why? Well, because you missed 3 payments. And I'm like, damn, that sucks. Like, more than what I owe to get the car out. So I added it, became a repo. But the point of my story is that I had 2 scenarios. The first one was with my mom. Second one was with my dad. They should have taught me what credit was, They should have said, son, if you got your credit card for $700, I'm gonna spend it, but you have to pay it back, and make sure that you pay it back in a timely manner. And then when I went to go buy my car, my dad should have been like, okay, son, if you miss 3 payments, they're gonna take the car away, or if you miss a payment, your score is gonna drop, whatever. But they failed to teach me about credit. So who here relates, who here had to learn the hard way to have a good credit score nowadays, right? We all learn the hard way.
Express and Victoria's Secret were.
Yeah, so it makes your clients no different. They have they want to buy a home, they want to become homeowners. A lot of them, they went through the sacrifice of just becoming citizens or even becoming residents and getting that SS number, but it didn't come with instructions on how to use credit. They had to learn the hard way. And they go to places like Curaçao and they're predatory lending. They sell them something that's worth 2 or 3 times its value. So it's hard for them to pay it back because they go everywhere. And all of this is predatory lending, especially for the Hispanic community.
That's a great point you bring it up about like Curaçao.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate.
yeah, they end up paying 2 or 3 times. Por un congreso is even worse, what is it? Or por un congreso. Yeah, it's a lending into the American institution that came and they prey on the Hispanic Latino markets. They're only in Latino markets for the opportunity. So quickly,
You
easy
see
to
them
give
in
you.
like Superior, Norte.
80% of the payment goes to interest. And they do it to the Hispanic Latino because we are able to borrow money. Okay, well, I'll pay just the minimum, and then it becomes overwhelming. That's if we have the higher statistic in bankruptcy. So my point is that a lot of your customers, they want to buy a home, but they don't know how credit works. So when they meet with the lender, the credit might be bad. It doesn't make them bad people. But I think that they do deserve a second chance. They deserve a lender and a realtor to stick by them and say, you know what, we're gonna help you. Because once you take somebody from not qualifying to when you hand them the keys, that's a client for life. I mean, he's gonna refer to, he or she is gonna refer to, because you took them from a moment when they didn't qualify to where they qualified, they're never gonna forget. Even if you don't send them a postcard every year, you're that person for them, because you
You're the
gave
person
them
who said
hope.
yes.
Yeah, and especially working with the credit repair company
So,
is very important. So just know that just because someone has bad credit doesn't make them bad people.
exactly.
We all go through life. Stuff happens where we have to choose whether do I pay my credit card. Maybe we took on too much and one of our spouses loses their job, or life happens, death in the family, economy, Joe Biden, whatever the case may be. Life gets hard and we have to decide whether do I pay my bills or do I eat? And sometimes you have to choose the latter.
You had a question?
Yes, I do have a question. For the most part, actually, when it comes to collections, they're easier to actually get removed. But when it comes to charge-offs, I mean, basically, you are this expert on this. Collections is actually bought by the actually third-party company, right?
Correct.
They buy it for paying service and whatever. The charge-off is actually the original creditor is still the owner of that account. So how do you guys verify or how do you guys deal with it? Because at the end of the day, they actually say like, this is you provide it with the social security, you provide it with this is your address, this is your date of birth. So it's
Well, you want okay, so if it's a charge off, most companies like Macy's, BofA, Wells Fargo, Chase, the bigger companies, they keep their debt in-house. They don't sell it off or assign it. They first assign it to a collection company, meaning you have 90 days to collect this debt. And then if you don't respond, because you'll get a letter in the mail, and if you don't respond within 30 days, that means that legally they have the right to report it to your credit report. Now you have ABC collecting for the original creditor, and they just say you don't pay them, and then that Wells Fargo, whoever company takes the debt back from this original collection company, and then they might sell it off to another collection company, and then you don't respond. Now you have 2 collections, and you have the charge off. So when it comes to the charge-off, is that company, it's a loss for them. Meaning whatever you didn't pay them back, maybe it was an asset, now it's a loss. So they're able to write it off as a loss. So they pay less taxes on that amount. In many cases, they might issue you a 1099 and still report the debt, which is, they can't do that because you report it as income. So they have to report it as zero. So in many cases, if we're able to negotiate with them to settle with them, they'll still delete it off the credit report because they've already wrote it off as a loss. That make sense?
yeah, that makes sense.
So it doesn't really, they don't really lose per se.
So basically, at the end of the day, it's better to, well, I mean, the best way that you guys handle those is by calling them to settle that account.
If it's a charge off, yes, for pennies on the dollar, you wanna settle for the least amount.
Yeah, and collections is, I mean, there's a way to get removed actually without getting paid, like as you mentioned, like.
Yeah, in many cases, we can delete them, we're about 70-80% successful. But if it's a collection that's a year old for 5,000, they're gonna pursue it more than a collection for 500.
Yes.
Yeah, because they make a bigger commission off of that. And the best day to settle accounts is at the end of the month, like the last 2 days, that's when you wanna settle.
The reason why is because let's say Macy's, Curaçao, Best Buy, they all have a bunch of collections. There are charge offs, they're gonna go ahead and sell that information to third-party companies, which are collection agencies, and those guys are gonna be like realtors and lenders on steroids. They're just cold calling all day. And they're cold calling you just to basically say, hey, you owe us this amount and this amount. At the end of the month, they got numbers they need to hit. So they're more likely to accept a lesser number just to hit their goal. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
like the best time to buy a car is at the end of the month. Yeah, you don't wanna go on the first, 'cause then they won't hook you up, but yeah.
I have a question regarding, you mentioned something about deleting late payments.
Correct.
Can you elaborate on specifics as to like what kind of late payments they can be deleted?
So
Because if you're late, you're late. I mean, how do you prove that you're not late?
Good question. So you can dispute it, and in many cases, if a credit agency fails to respond to you, they'll remove it. Now, if we're doing the traditional credit repair for them to remove late payments, some companies are more lenient because they'll see that, okay, this has one hiccup, one late payment, or remove it, it's fine. But if multiple late payments show that you have bad habits, it's gonna be a lot harder to remove. So it's not if we can remove, it's just how long it'll take.
Because
Removing 5 late payments could take 5 months, 6 months versus removing just one. It's easier to remove one, or maybe 2. Yeah.
So what happens when, so you dispute the records, for example, and they have about the 30 days by law for them to provide you with the documentation or remove it from the credit.
Correct.
But what if they find it the following month? It's like, oh, we found it, we barely got this email back from whatever department. They can now report it back.
No, that rarely ever happens. If they don't answer, they never went through. Because they get a response, everything's done electronically.
Okay.
It's almost not manually reviewing our letters, it's all done through the system called eOscar. You know, especially with AI, I mean, you guys seen what AI is doing? It's insane. I mean, a lot of people are gonna lose their jobs because of AI. So AI is reading the letter and it's picking up certain things and then it just verify it. But then when they verify it, that's when it gets interesting for us. Because how did you verify? When? Who did you speak to? So we get to ask all these questions that they're like, oh crap, we don't have the answer, they just delete it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's more in depth in regards to just saying, oh, we verified it. You did. We have the right to ask, well, show me every method you use to verify your lead. Yeah, and then that's when it gets tricky for them.
Yeah.
Got a question, Abby?
Student loans, obviously those are hard. Have you
Yeah.
guys had any success with?
Not right now because of what's going on with the Biden administration. Everything's on hold. And that's affecting a lot of your clients that have past due payments. Because if you call them, they won't accept payments. So, and they won't even correct it. So they're stuck in a pickle. What do I do? It's negative.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those things where we get a lot, we can't help them.
And unfortunately with student loans as well, some of you lenders already know as well, especially if you're running it through Freddie Mac, they hit you with 1% of the amount, that's what your monthly payments are. So that gets factored into your DTI.
They show you proof.
Right, but if they're derogatory.
They're
it
making
really
payments,
affects
yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
but right now the payments got put on hold again for another 6 months. Which is good, but then it's bad for those that want to make payments because they can't. Yeah.
Correct. So one of the questions we constantly always get asked is, hey, how much does credit repair cost? Now, we operate slightly different from one of your biggest companies in the world, Lexington Law. They like to do what I call the Planet Fitness model, where they keep a client on for 8, 9, 10, 12 months at a time, charging them $400 a month, like an expensive gym membership, hence the reason why I call it the Planet Fitness model. We charge based upon what work needs to be done. So let's say, for instance, Abby sends me a client and this client only has 2 derogatory remarks and they just need deletion letters for those. And then, that's it. our fees start at $3.95 and up. Obviously, the more work processing needs to do, the more work, the more it's obviously gonna cost the client. Your average price point lately has been anywhere from $6.95 to $8.95, give or take. Now, that's just for credit repair. We have trade lines as well, like I mentioned earlier. Trade lines start at $9.95. And at $9.95, they'd be getting an account added to their credit with at least 2 years of minimum 2 years history, zero balance or little to no balance at all, because we understand any balance will be factored into their DTI, and 100% payment history. And this way, if you come across a client that, let's say, hey, they want to buy, but they have no credit at all, they don't need deletion letter. There's nothing to delete. They just need seasoned credit added to them. Especially when you guys are even dealing with, I'll be through 1 second, with I-10 borrowers. We service I-10 borrowers as well. Now, I-10 borrowers takes a little bit longer because the credit report for them is just a little bit more finicky, but it can be done. Yes, you had a question?
For the accounts that you add, how long will they stay on the credit for?
That's a great question. So they stay reporting active for 4 to 6 months. So if you can't slam a client in escrow in 4 to 6 months, there's got to be something going on. And if you need more time, I always say just communicate. It's not like we're not going to help you guys out. We care about that. And even after we remove them, all that payment history from the trade line is still going to be reported. It's just going to show up as a closed account at that meeting time.
I'm sorry, I apologize, I gotta leave.
No problem. Grab a business card. I definitely want to.
Absolutely.
help
Can
you
I
out.
collaborate on something real quick here first?
Sure.
Guys, it's very, very important on where lenders and something we're going to see the credit report and we still have collection. And it's easier for us to tell the client, you just pay it off. But what if they actually pay and then pay it off, they make one payment and the sales limitation was 4 years, then the clock restarts.
Exactly.
So basically, the collector can come back again into the person. So it's very important and can drop the credit. I'm sure they can collaborate more on that.
That's a very good, that's a very good point. I'm
That's a
gonna,
very good point. Thank you for that.
yeah, so you never want to tell your client to make payments on any
Old account.
charge off or collection accounts. The reason why it's charged off for collection is because he couldn't make the payments
The last
to begin with. So if you agree to make payments, like I heard people, well, I'm paying $25 a month and the debt's $2,000. But did you do the numbers? How long it's gonna take you? 4 years to pay it off? It's gonna fall off in 3. But they don't know. They just, they got a call and they were, scared to death and they're gonna pay me $25. The thing about payments is that they won't report that you're making payments. It'll still be negative, but it'll be active every month. So it's like having a credit, you're just peeking at it every month. Never gonna heal. Your score's gonna be hitting. No, you never want to make payments.
And never. And then on top of that as well, it goes off the last date of activity. So if you're constantly making payments, the last day of activity can still.
Or even if you agree verbally to make a payment, they'll reset the clock. And then they'll come after you.
So
They'll sue you.
if I can give you guys a tip that I'm sure that some may know, some may not know. There's 2 important dates for your client's credit, as well as for your own personal credit. There's your statement date and your posting date. So please make sure you keep note of the difference between the 2. Now, can anyone tell me what your posting date is?
The due date, right? The due date. Due date.
Yeah, the due date. That's when minimum due, let's say you got a Capital One or, Curaçao or Chase, and they say, hey, your minimum due is this date. Your posting date is the day that they submit all that information of what's actively on the account to the bureaus. So let's say, for instance, who here runs their credit card up and carries a balance every month? Show of hands.
Like up, or like all the way up?
We'll get in depth on that.
Not all the way up, but I use it.
So who here pays off all their credit cards so it shows a zero balance every month? Have you ever paid off your account and it still reflects a balance for some weird reason? And the reason why is because it's not reflecting a zero balance by the posting date. So you want to make sure that the balances are as low as possible or 0 on your posting date. Your activity will still reflect and post on your account, showing that you made payment history. But if you paid off before your posting date, it's always going to reflect the 0 balance, which is great for those who especially want to qualify. Now, I always give an extra tip: pay all your bills if possible with a good credit card. I pay my phone bill, insurance, everything with a credit card that's going to give me cashback rewards, and you just pay it off before you post it.
Who here uses debit card for everything?
For just about everything.
We shouldn't be using our debit cards whatsoever. We should be using their money.
Yeah.
Not ours.
And The reason why is credit cards give you a lot more incentives and perks. Most people don't realize it for certain stuff, like I have Chase Sapphire, they give me free car rental insurance whenever I want to rent a car versus having to pay additional. You know, on top of that as well, you using it on everyday thing for gas, food, bills, and everything else as well, you're getting bonus points that, hey, that's gonna fund a vacation at the end of the year.
It's stimulating your credit.
Yeah, exactly. And
Not use a
stimulating.
debit card.
Don't use a debit card, especially to buy appliances, never use debit card.
Extended warranties get added on.
If you're gonna book a trip, do it with your credit card, because it has extra insurances that your debit card does not have. You'll get your money back quicker with the credit card than you would with your bank.
Especially if it gets cloned.
Yeah, especially anything happens, use your credit cards. Because a lot of credit cards, if you travel a lot, they have a lot of you can use a free lounges, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Insurance, car insurance, some of them, you don't have to buy the car insurance. You rent a car, your credit card already has it. And then, to get back 5% on purchasing, pretty good, because it adds up.
one of the easiest ways to put it is a bank is gonna be a lot more lenient and fighting more for their money as in a credit card than they are for fighting for your money that's in a debit card. They're gonna go at bat and fight for their money. They're gonna fight for their assets back. Especially if you buy that brand new flat screen and, you didn't get the extended warranty with Best Buy or put us out. And next thing you know, it's just not working. Your credit card is there to help you guys out. Early cancellation clauses where they say, oh, your cancellation is non-refundable. We buy it with a credit card. You get that actually reimbursed through your credit card as well on certain accounts. So have your money work for you versus you work for your money. Warren Buffett, a lot of multimillionaires, if you ask them, they don't use their debit card for anything else other than paying their credit cards.
Yeah. Especially for the young lady here.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
start building that credit.
Can you go back to that fee schedule that we were talking about?
the fees?
Yeah.
Yes, so our fees start at $395 and up, depending on how much work needs to be done. Now, one of the most beautiful things about our company is we are money back guarantee. If we can't render services, clients get their money back. And the reason why we do that is because we never want to have a client come by and say, hey, we just, we can't perform, and next thing you know, they took our money. Because there's a lot of credit repair companies out there that unfortunately will take the client's money or take them on that Planet Fitness membership where they just ride them out for 8 to 10 months and don't do anything with them. So one of the things we have as well for our referral partners is we actually have an app that allows you to, let's say you send 5 clients and next thing you know, you want to say, hey, what's going on with my 5 clients? I want to see what's the status on every single one of them. We have an app where you can log in and check on a Sunday night and you can see John, Jane, Joe, and Smith, all of them, and see where they're at, where they started, any updates on what's going on with them. And therefore you can call them and tell them what's going on with their credit as well. And they have an app as well that allows them to see that as well. And it's completely free and complimentary because we want to make sure that you guys keep communication and top of mind when it comes to dealing with your clients. So does anyone have any questions so far regarding?
To fix the whole credit report, it takes about 4 to 6 months or?
No, so it all depends. It all depends. It's almost like saying, hey, one size shoe fits all. Some clients can get their results in 45 days. Some clients, if they're running a rapid resource, 7 to 10 days. Some clients, if they have 1,000,001 things reporting on their credit, can take on the upwards of 120 days plus. We have a client that I have right now, and she's unfortunately, life happens. She has about 12 collections. It's going to be a lot longer than someone who's just like, hey, I just got one collection and it's 6 years old. I want to get that deleted.
In
So
your experience, and I mean, I know the answer to this, but just for everybody, what is your struggle on removing collections? How new they are, or?
that would actually come down to our processing. Rolando definitely deals more hand in hand with processing.
Yeah,
for
the
your
newer the
personal-
collection, that's more challenging to be to delete.
Yes.
Especially if it's a larger collection. If it's a small collection and who is reporting it, because I know which companies are more aggressive than others. So 15 years, I could tell this is gonna be a little bit of a headache. Well, this one here, let's just pay it off, or I can delete it. Or some of them sue.
Yeah.
If you see a collection catch, yeah, they'll sue. They sue. They're sue friendly. But some of them, I could tell depending on the amount when it was reported, who has it, if it'll be a challenge or not.
Correct.
Now, in collections, real quick question, is there any truth to that saying that like, for example, let's say that you had an account with the Good Guys, for example, and then they sold it to another collection who sold it to another collection. Is it true that you're under no obligation to pay them since that person was the original creditor?
No, it's there in fine print that they have the right to assign it or sell it to a relation. We just don't read the fine print, we just accept those terms.
Correct.
Yeah, but a lot of people think, oh, you see on TikTok, all these so-called, don't pay collection accounts, you don't have to pay them. Yeah, what happens if they sue you? You can't tell the judge, I don't have the right to pay them. Oh, yeah, it's there in fine print, we just don't read it, we just accept. Whenever we get a credit card, we just excited we got approved and we just scroll and, yeah, right there, I don't know, I don't read it.
Some people just read the APR, the interest
No,
rate, and then they scroll down and
it's
hit
unlimited.
Yeah.
5 grand, oh yeah, I don't care, whatever it is.
So the devil is definitely in the details. So definitely, proofreading and going over can definitely help out. Now, one of the other struggles that, I wanted to bring up as well is, just keeping an open communication with our clients. Obviously, as lenders, you guys tell your clients all the time, do not co-sign, do not co-borrow, do not run up any credit cards, and so on and so forth. There's been times, unfortunately, where, hey, we're working on credit and the client will contact us, hey, I haven't gotten any results, what's going on? And then when we check their account, when it reflects over, we got 2 or 3 accounts deleted, but they maxed out their credit cards. So speaking about maxing out, does anyone know the correct percentage of where you should be keeping your credit cards under?
Under 30%.
It used to be 30, so you guys were somewhat right. They now have it down under 10%. 10% is optimal. 30%, you're getting a C, B minus.
Yeah.
You want an A plus, keep it under 10% utilization. So try to keep it under 10% utilization because that shows most financial, like you're financially stable and you're financially headstrong versus someone who's going to be more likely to run up the credit card. Any other questions so far, guys? Now, let's say, for instance, tomorrow, Abby comes to me and says, hey, I have a client, and this goes for everyone in the video chat as well. Hey, I have a client that, we ran their credit, we did the what if simulator, and it's saying we need to get something deleted. So it's saying right there, hey, we need this part right here deleted. What's our next steps? Because obviously the client's not going to just, okay, I know I need to get it deleted. They don't know how to deal with that. Give us a call. If you already have a copy of what's called a tri-merge account, which is the credit account that you guys already pulled, you can email it over to us and we can give you guys a consultation and an analysis on what we can do, how much it costs, timeline, and so on and so forth. We have an amazing team. One of our best processors, her name is Deborah. I love her to death. She's amazing. She, I think, wrote the how-to credit for dummies. She will give you a very easy, detailed email analysis that's easy for the clients to even understand. This is how much it's going to cost. This is the route. We have multiple options. They can go this route, which may cost this amount. They have this route, which may cost this amount. And she even has a Calendly link on there. So if you guys want to contact her or even contact just processing to answer any other questions you may have, we have that available for you as well. So you send us a client that needs credit repair if you already have the account. Now, let's say you have a client that came into your brand new open house and they have no credit, they have horrible credit, and they're like, hey, I don't want to get a hard inquiry on my credit. What do I do? We have a website where they can self-pull their own credit for $1. And the difference between a self-pull and a hard inquiry, that I like to keep it as simple as possible. A hard inquiry is someone telling you yes or no. Someone checking your credit to see what you're approved for. A self-pull is you checking it yourself, which will not harm your credit. So if they need to repair their credit and they don't want to get a hard inquiry, we have that link and have that resource for them. Now, it only costs them $1. And then after 15 days, it auto turns into a credit monitoring system, which is insured for up to $1 million. And it's about $30 a month. If they want to keep it, we always highly recommend it. But if they just want to pull their credit, they can pull their credit and cancel a week or 2 after. And that's perfectly fine as well. We can't tell the clients what to do. We always suggest them to, because who doesn't want to keep their credit secure for $1 million policy? That's just amazing to me. But we have those tools and options for you, whether they need to help pull their credit, whether they need that extra analysis and they need someone to break it down to them and use their friendly terms. Albert Einstein said it best. If you can't explain it to a 4-year-old, you probably don't understand it yourself. And that's what I think Deborah does really well.
Is it on your guys' website? Can you show that?
No, the website is still in construction.
It's still in the construction. She pulled up the website as well. He's
we're still working on it.
We're definitely rebranding the website to be a little bit more modern. It definitely has that older style feel, but we're here to help you guys out. If you guys ever have any questions at all, you can always call me, text me.
Send them my way.
If you know a good web developer, Rolando definitely needs one. I already checked, there was no questions.
I'll do it for free. I'm just kidding. I don't even know how to do it. What's your guys' Instagram?
Oh, Instagram, you guys can look me up on Instagram, Elite Credit by Jose. You're gonna see my ugly mug, and I've been trying to be more face active on Instagram, so there you
I
go.
just wanted to go ahead and place that up there for you guys to see. You guys, that's his Instagram. I do follow him on Instagram, so he puts a lot of great information. Rolando is here, and so is Rigo, who are also a part of the team. If you guys go to their main account, which is here, My Elite Credit Group, you guys can see who their team is and contact.
So if you guys have any questions at all, please, if you have a question, does not mean you have bad credit. So you guys can ask me later, and don't worry, this is,
You for a friend.
yes, you can always ask for a friend. I want to thank you guys for at least taking the time out of your day. I know you guys are all extremely busy professionals who needs to be slamming more clients in escrow. Should you come across anyone, let me know. We're here to help you guys out.
Anybody on the Zoom that might have any questions for Jose and his team? You guys-
Yes, do they do other states besides California?
That's a great question. I'm sorry, what was your name?
I'm Anna.
Hi, Anna. So yes.
Anna Dianda from Arizona.
We service actually all of the United States. If anyone has a social or if they have an ITIN as well, we can help service them. So don't turn down clients, especially if you have multiple licenses. Let's say
The
you're
only difference is the statute of limitations vary state by state.
correct.
Say
So
that again, no,
So
no.
the only difference would be the statute of limitations vary state by state. So California is 4 years, certain states might be 2 or 3 years. Yeah, Arizona might be
I
6.
do have a okay, I do have a question. What happens when customers?
Anna, you're cutting off.
Maybe
You're cutting off.
you're
right
cutting
now.
off. If you want to type the question, you can always type it out as well. Show of hands, who here has
Yeah, I think she cut off.
above a 600? Show of hands, who here has above a 720? All right, but
Working on
every single one of your guys' names that didn't have your hand up, we're gonna be taking care of you guys pretty shortly.
I know why. We paid off the credit card. I was like, damn it. First time I ran it up that much.
Can you go over like what was the credit, you know, we paid out, don't paid out full, or paid out on what date? That was a little.
So if you pay off, let's say you run up your credit card and you know, you're the type that, hey, you want to put your gas, your groceries, you go to like Bo's Cigar Lounge, you get a couple stick of cigars, or you go play golf and you know, you just use your credit card for that. You can pay it off before your posting date. And what ends up happening is
What's the posting date?
your posting date varies. So call your individual account and ask them when does the posting date.
That's not the due date that you on there.
Correct. It's
It's
completely
The
different.
closing statement date, yeah, it's the date your balance gets reported.
Correct. And they only report it once a month. So that myth of if you pay it every 2 weeks, it's gonna report every 2 weeks is a myth. It doesn't happen.
Well, Anna's here.
Oh, hey, oh, so she was in the elevator. No pun
Yeah.
intended.
No, she was-
Like you say. So what was your question?
So my question was because we have a that we have one to be.
Okay.
So now they open, we open the we help them open Capital One.
Okay, Capital One's a great account to open up. They
Yes,
high
and
approval
especially
rates.
for like when you have to do the prepaid one,
Yes.
we did that.
The prepaid ones. Okay,
And reported, but it's still showing, now it's showing 2 trade lines.
correct.
It's not showing 3, so what happens, well, how can you help?
How long has the account been opened?
Months.
2 months. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, you know, just like when you buy a car, sometimes that new auto loan may not reflect for the first 2-3 months. Sometimes it's still just in setup. I don't know what your timeline is on slamming them in escrow. We can always add a trade line to them and our trade lines can
It seems
report.
like it's very efficient now. So
We-
you
The
can
thing
add-
about adding a new credit card is that it's not gonna do anything because there's no history.
Correct.
So it's not until 6 months of on-time payments get reported. So it'll be 6-7 months before that
But
actual.
Capital One reports right away with 20 points.
Well, yeah, but it's not gonna take them from like zero credit.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
But
So-
she just needs 3 trade lines, because
Yeah,
most
they're
lenders
pretty-
typically require 3 trade lines, especially those who are I-10, like if you guys are shopping your non-QM I-10 bars like Green Box, they typically need 2 to 3 trade lines.
Unless it's
12
an
to
FHA.
24
Correct. So, and when it comes to scenarios like that, we can add a trade line to them, and our trade lines will report within 7 to 10 days.
It's.
Oh, absolutely. So we have multiple
It's not
trade
like
lines.
the last, oh, yes.
No.
Royal Prestige.
The prestige, and they go- they tell you and then it's 4,000. That will then report.
No. So
They
our-
don't qualify.
So that's our biggest specialty actually is trade lines. We definitely deal with deletion letters and, disputes. We definitely deal with collections, but our biggest bread and butter where we definitely like thrive in is adding trade lines to clients, to making sure that they're eligible to boost their FICO. So we're definitely here to help out with that as well. Yeah.
And that's $1,000, 900.
$9.95 is, so they go in increments on what the account is. We don't charge based upon the average age of history. We charge based upon the amounts on the card that's gonna get reported. So from 500 to 5,000 is $9.95. So 5,000 to $10,000 card is gonna be $10.95. So it goes in increments of $100 on how much it costs. Now, I wouldn't suggest maybe, a client say, hey, I want a $30,000 credit card added to my account. When it's just, hey, it's just the average age of history, that's what you need.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know, just because it doesn't make sense. We can always, if we want to charge a client more, but that doesn't make sense. Let's make sure we get the client the right needs for them.
So one thing that I used to do with Rolando when I would send in my clients, obviously as a loan officer, I would pull their credit, take a look at their credit. And I'll be honest, the very beginning, I did not use the what if simulator because I was never, I did not know how to use it. I would literally just send them the credit report. And I would say, Rolando, can you review this and let me know what I can do for my client?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you guys would be okay with doing that.
That's perfectly fine. You don't have to use the what if simulator. We are your what if simulator. We are your what if simulator. We'll let you know, hey, based upon this credit report, especially if you send an email saying, hey, the client wants a DPA, down payment assistance, they need 660 minimum, what can be done? Just give us that and give us the credit report. We can give you our what if simulator. Deborah is amazing at giving out great analysis, and so is Rolando.
And then that way he can dish out what needs to be done, how much is the cost, and then you can relay that to your client. Because what is the first thing a client's gonna ask? How much is it gonna cost me? I mean, there's someone out there that I know, a low popular credit queen that charges $5,000. Might as well
Yes.
pay off your debt.
Yes, we unfortunately are not,
They came to me and he's like, I'm not paying $5,000 just to see,
yeah. Yeah.
like, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't either.
There's a big following of a specific person who I know, who we're talking about.
So that's what I highly recommend is getting, if you guys don't know how to use your what if simulator or don't have that time.
Yeah, if you don't
use
have the
your credit
time,
card
contact us.
specialist.
If you don't have the time.
I did, that was the first thing I did.
Oh, I mean,
She was running out of realtor time.
And I was hoping that our analysis are so simple that a 5-year-old would know what to do.
Yeah.
We want to simplify it, and 9 out of 10 clients, lender that we send them the analysis, we don't speak with the client because the
Yeah.
lender's like, oh, they're ready to pay.
Yeah.
Because we simplify, we make it so simple, where they're like, oh, all it takes is this, okay, let's do it.
So,
Because we understood, I've been doing it 14 years before, it was more complicated. Now Deborah makes it so simple that she's an expert in where your fire will be like, okay, I know how to repair credit now.
Yeah, well, like I said, what I used to do with Rolando was you deal with it and let me know when their credit's ready.
so that's one of the things I want to bring up. There's 2 types of people who are referring us clients. Those who want to be hands-on and those who are just, hey, I'm sending you a client, just let me know when they're ready. And I get it. Sometimes you might be at what's called a hybrid, where you have clients that unfortunately they're like, I only want to deal and talk to my lender, or I only want to deal and talk to my realtor. And we get that. Some clients, they need to be like coddled. And then there's gonna be certain clients where you're like, hey, just let me know when they're ready and we're good to go. So that's completely understandable. We can keep you in the loop on either way. So therefore, when you do come across those clients, that, hey, you completely like set and forget, we'll keep you on the update. Hey, we have Betty, we have Deborah, we have Rolando, we have myself, we have Rigo, where if we come across any updates, hey, we're just showing you an update. This is what's going on with the client. We got 3 out of the 5 accounts already deleted. Their FICOs are projected around this amount. If you want to start shopping rates now, or if you want to give it a week or 2, that's completely up to you.
Which what I like, what's the app that you guys have?
It's our client portal.
So it's an app, unfortunately, I don't think it's on is it on PC?
No, but,
You should be able to.
was
log
it
in.
app? So they do have an app called Client Portal, guys, so I'm just trying to see if I could find it up here so that you guys can see it. Again, if you guys are utilizing their services, what he mentioned is, yes, sometimes we don't have the time to always be following up on credit repair, but we do want to be up to date because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that these clients are getting into escrow.
Correct.
So they do have the app called Client Portal. It's for some reason it's just spinning here, but
I have a question in regards to when you get a trade line for someone,
Correct.
how do you protect them, or how do we protect the client, someone, when they get that credit line? I mean, do they get a credit card?
No, so we actually have it so they don't get a credit card.
Okay,
So it's only gonna update their credit. The credit card is gonna be essentially sent off to our processing center where it goes in the round file, AKA it's gonna get diced and sliced if we don't even have it added on. So
It just has a C and a P.
yeah, it has an ugly, it's not the prettiest one. But one of the things I always recommend, the client portal app that we definitely have as well, it's similar to what a lot of you guys know is what's called Lion's Desk. It's gonna be basically your breakdown of client, name, status, X, Y, and Z.
And the cool thing is that once your client logs in, we promote you back to your client.
It's gonna have your name and phone number as contact my
They could
lender,
contact
contact my
us, or they could
realtor.
Contact you guys.
But 99% of the time, I'm gonna tell you right now, our referral partners, you guys don't use it. And the
What?
reason why is because you guys are too busy out there trying to get more business just to bring in.
so this is gonna be the app,
That one, yes.
just so you guys know.
So yeah,
Again,
I'm sure it shows screenshots. of it.
Yeah, scroll down a little bit and you can see, so it'll show them like their credit scores, it'll show them like their login tracking, it'll show them, just more in depth on like what's going on. It'll give them updates as well. And if they ever have any questions, I believe there's a message link on there so they can message directly to our processing center. So if they have any questions regarding the process, hey, I'm thinking about buying something, what do you advise? Obviously, you as lenders and realtors tell your clients, don't buy anything. Until you get the keys to your new home or until you close that refinance, don't buy anything, don't rent anything. I'm sure we've all had that scenario where unfortunately an escrow is canceled because a buyer pulls up in a brand new car right before they get to clear to close. So
better not.
tell them congrats, you're gonna be living in that car because you're not living in the new home. Yes, sir.
Yes, going back to that question about the trade line.
Yes,
So when you give them a trade line, you're gonna put an address where the credit card is gonna be shipped, right? Because we don't want the credit card to.
no, it doesn't get shipped to the borrower directly, absolutely not.
Remember, it's a trade line and it's not their credit card.
Yeah,
So
so,
they don't have that balance. It's only for show.
yeah, it's only for show. So
So they're not getting.
it's almost as if I added my wife as an authorized user on my credit card.
No, I understood because I heard it that they get a credit card, but I wanna make sure that.
No,
last
we-
thing I want is someone to get a credit card.
Our processing team will never send that out because it's such a high liability. If the clients unfortunately,
Yes, of course.
get that card, they may be like, oh, well, look, I got a free credit card that's, $5,000 balance. Let me go ahead and run it up.
They cannot call and get it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they got all the access from the customer.
So,
So the customer cannot actually call the credit card and they see it on the credit and say, no.
no, they
Just wanna
can't.
make sure that
Correct,
They have no access.
No,
Yes,
they have no access, absolutely.
Yeah, we added hundreds, and we never had an issue. We added, we've added hundreds of cards. now.
Yeah, so,
You can call on you get your credit report, you see a phone number, say, hey, I didn't receive my credit, card. Can you send it over again?
Correct.
You follow me, that's not.
correct. So for our trade lines for personal, like I said, they report for anywhere for, on the upwards of 6 months to 8 months reporting active. For our business, we have business trade lines. Those stay reporting for the life of your business. So what that means is as long as you own that business, that trade line is going to be staying and reflectively reporting. Yes, Abby.
Is the cost the same?
No, so business trade lines, I wish, oh my God. So those actually start a bit higher. For pricing on that, I would definitely recommend speaking with Rolando. We can get back to you if you specifically have a client or for you yourself, if you're trying to make sure you have that business credit.
That's good
established.
for people that are flipping,
Yeah.
investors that.
People want like a warehouse
to
line.
Maximize their personal credit, it's important for them to build their business credit, because you have more leverage, you can borrow more with your business than you can with personal.
Correct,
You can borrow a million versus 1,000.
correct.
And how much is that?
So to add, let's just say to add a $400,000 trade line, that will give you a score of 100, because business is 0 to 100, costs 10,000. Yeah, so that's, it's, I mean, it's a
You're
different,
the only one 100?
if you only want 100, if you only want 100, about. I think about 6,000, maybe, it could be
So
less.
it's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not for the faint of heart.
But it stays
These are
recording for the life of
serious,
your business.
People that are deep in flipping and have to, they use a lot of, the hard money.
Yeah.
And they wanna stop using hard money because it's expensive. And they have enough cash flow and they have enough under the belt to show lenders.
It's okay.
But
These ones are gonna
the,
produce.
they ask them for the business credit, they don't have enough credit. So we can have trade lines that'll give them more buying power so they can get approved for hundreds, millions. And banks right now are giving away money like crazy,
Mhm.
business. It's insane. It's insane, yeah. But it's, you do have to have a positive cash flow and be in business for a while.
What's a while? After 3 years?
At least a year of consistent
I
cash
think
flow,
it's
yeah.
better.
Yeah, so we could put it to you as a sole proprietor. You have an LLC, as for nonprofit, for profit, yeah.
Should you guys have any questions, any more questions right now? I want to make sure every question's answered, or if you want to ask them in private, my business cards are also right there by the portals, and I also have a couple custom bags of chips that are Valentine's Day themed, so
You can take them back to
Yeah,
your
you-
loved ones.
yes, you can take them back to your loved ones.
Si no compraran nada.
Thank you. If you guys have any questions, contact me.
Anybody on Zoom that might have a question, you guys?
Just because you have a question does not mean you
Don't
have
be
bad credit. I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day. Should you come across any scenarios, give me a call. I'm here to help you guys out.
So anybody on Zoom, if you guys want this information that is on here, or Jose or Rolando and Rico's contact.
Yeah.
Again, you guys can go on Instagram, My Elite Credit Group, or Elite Credit by Jose. Or let me know and I can shoot you guys over his information.
She becomes liable for the.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys so much.
So let's just say you want to stop, for whatever reason. And
Never.
you own.
So you can always open up